Hi everybody, my name is Pete and this is Creative Space, place where we'll be discussing every time some interesting topic. And in today's episode of Creative Space, I decided to talking about streaming services. Services what I'm using all the time. If you remember on my previous podcast where I talked about solo traveling, the big part of it is music, and big part for me is listening. I'm using different platforms for listening. It depends what kind of content I would like to listen during the not just traveling but basically any movement. You need to know something about me. It doesn't matter where I'm going. I always need to listen to something. I mean, I have the big headphones, Bose Quiet Comfort 35, and I love them. I have them for like an 5, 6 years, I think, right now. It's the first generation, and I absolutely love these headphones. And that doesn't matter where I'm going. I always have to wear them on my head and listening to some music, podcast, videos, or actually to any voice. Just because I love that. And here we come into the first topic. In these days, you have a lot of choices and sources from where you can listen into your favorite content. Um, I'm personally using most of the times YouTube. I'm I have YouTube Premium, which is an paid subscription where you can listening to your favorite videos in background, which I absolutely love that. Then also I'm using Spotify, SoundCloud, by the way, where you can listening to this podcast as well. Then also I'm using Netflix, but most of the times when I'm traveling to work, to airport, to train station, by bus, most of the time I'm listening to YouTube videos or Spotify. And in today's episode of Creative Space, I would like to discussing little bit my personal experiences with all these platforms, devices what I'm using, and also I would like to talk a little bit about the new stuff what came by Apple. And let me hear here. Um, I'm tech fan. I was using a long time ago Apple devices. Now I'm Android user. But a lot of stuff what coming up right now through Apple event, which was held I think last week, was such a big leap for Apple from my personal perspective. But let's start from beginning. What kinda subscriptions and services I'm using on daily basis? As I said earlier, I'm most of the timing on YouTube or Spotify. And let's start there. Um, Probably 90% of my daily content consumption is coming from YouTube. I think I'm on YouTube like almost 10, 15. It's more than a decade what I'm using YouTube. I went through most of the channels. Now I'm ended up with some vlogs or late night shows or some top 5, top 10 unusual stuff, and just having an voice, not voice comment, but having voice around you when you are traveling, especially when you are solo traveler. It's a kind of socializing aspect in it when you are traveling alone. So, and one thing what I really hate or hated, let put in the past, what I really hated on YouTube was a tons of tons of adverts what just went shoot on you in every second when you tried to watch. And you know, when you are watching the video and everything is going well, and in an exact moment you just get the advert. To be honest here, I understanding why creators using monetization. I don't have anything against that. So that's why I not so proud of it, but I used AdBlock. I was using AdBlock for over maybe half a year, and then something just hits me back. Wait, these creators are really want my viewing and they want the money from for their creations. So obviously, because I'm trying to be a good guy, I just uninstalled the adblock and just waited for so long time until the YouTube Premium before YouTube Red, which was available last year only in US, if I'm not wrong in it. What YouTube Premium is basically you get rid of all the advertisements, so you don't have any ads before your video, no 5 seconds, not inside your video, no anywhere on near in it, no adverts at all through YouTube Premium. Plus, you have some YouTube Premium special content. Then also, what it's my absolute favorite feature on this subscription is you can listening to YouTube in your background. So basically, what that means, you have your phone, you are playing some videos, and then turn off your screen, and you can still listening to that video. For me, for as an highly consumer of YouTube content, it's such a huge deal to have this feature on it. And to be honest, it's cost like an $10 per month, which is nothing. I could barely spend $10 in the morning shopping, and like this I can have YouTube Premium. So yeah, if you are high YouTube content consumption person, go for it. $10, it's nothing. By the way, this is not advertisement. This is just my honest review on YouTube Premium. My next platform what I'm using for listening is for sure Spotify. Again, as with YouTube, I was like a month, maybe less, on free version of Spotify, but then if you are listening to free version of Spotify, you have between song some awesome adverts, which to be honest, who is really loving advert in these days? Just try to watch any show, any TV show on your TV, and I can guarantee you during watching like a half an hour show, you will be ending up with five adverts, 5 commercials, and I really want to spend on 20 minutes TV show like in 1 hour. Right, I can understanding many of those TV channels are making money on commercials. It's absolute fine, but I think we can do better advertisement. I think we are in that age where we can interesting the potential buyers by better way than keeping them watching the commercials, which are most of the times in the whole time they are much more longer than any TV shows. So that's the kind of thing what I hate. But okay, I understand it need to be there. So back to that topic, why I wanted to subscription on Spotify was obviously I wanted to have free ad content, saving and downloading my favorite music and so on. Later on came the podcasts, and wow, I'm absolutely addicted on podcasts. I have now like an 5, 6 probably podcasts what I'm listening all the time when I'm going somewhere. Because to be honest, as I mentioned earlier, I'm loving to have like an voice, like an speaking voice, not like an in music kinda, like an singing, but like a real word conversation. Yeah, that no, that's the right word. Has the conversation in my ears. Um, right. This one it's already a little bit weird in this point, but yes, podcasts. Actually, you are listening to one right now. Are the huge part of my daily life, like for an probably like an year, year and a half, I think, and I think it wouldn't be end so easily. And reason behind it is when you are listening to radio, you have their um, commercial breaks, you have there some music between each segment of the radio shows. So again, we are not going in those moments what I talked earlier in TV shows. You have to pay for that radio time. You have to keep in the audience there. You have to keep in most of the time of the radios times are usually dedicated for commercials. I mean, right, I don't have any experiences how it's working, but from customer perspective, you and me are basically listening or listened to radio at least one time in our lifetime, and we know that we have like an 10 max 15 minutes talking segment in the radio. We have there 2 3 songs, and there we know we have the huge part which is advertisement or commercial breaks, which are totally fine. It's the type of the business model. These radio stations are to, these radio stations have to exist somehow, so it's absolute fine. But again, we have here that flip side where many of people are tired of the commercials break because they want to that instant content, because they want to be entertained all the time. So there is coming these subscriptions. We have here YouTube Red, YouTube Premium. Then we have here premium subscriptions on Spotify. And now, when I'm thinking on it, oh yes, we have here also the televisions, cable channels as well. Like in here in UK, it's an Sky. We have HBO in US, in most of the Europe as well. Um, then in internet era, of course, we have Netflix. In the US, it's an HBO Go or HBO Now. I'm not sure what's the no difference no between them. Then also you have Hulu. The new kind of channels are coming as well. Streaming services. Disney will be introducing their own platform. Apple will be introducing their own platform soon as well. So I mean, we are starting in living in area or in our lives where basically we will be paying for hundreds and hundreds of streaming services just got that one. But to be honest, these companies have to make the revenue somehow, and if many of us as an as an customers are not anymore front of the TVs because we are living out there. We have smartphones, iPads, laptops, smart TVs, most of them with us all the time. It's not make sense. The old technique are not making sense anymore in these days, which I think it's a natural move for this kind of the entertainment markets. Personally, I'm using Netflix. I'm watching the tons and tons of TV shows. I know few days ago came out the fifth season of Black Mirror. I didn't see it yet, but what I saw in trailer on YouTube, wow, that show again moved the borders of the content creativity to the next level, and I can't wait to see it. Um, Also, I watched plenty of Narcos. I watched all three seasons, and I was just so impressed how well they've been shot. I mean the first season was shot very very real, very, yeah, let's start with the really real. Second one was also great, but the third season just blowed my mind. Um, Now plenty of new shows will be coming in less than a month. We will be get the third season of Stranger Things, which I'm a huge fan of it, and I can't wait when it will be live. So yeah, plenty of new shows will be coming very soon. Such a good segment I just had in these minutes. I talked all about the stuff what I really love, what I really like to using, and now something just hits my mind. I forgot to talking about books because um I wasn't a huge fan of reading books, but Audible, which is like a streaming service for books where you can listening audiobooks, a lot of kinda good audiobooks, just made me to come in back actually to reading not physical book, but again the digital one. To be honest here, we are all living now in the digital era, so having physical stuff of anything, I'm not sure it's really necessary anymore. But back to that point, I started to becoming a frequent reader of the books which are really starting love it. And also I'm thinking right now the any of these services what we have, as I mentioned earlier, if it's YouTube, Spotify, Netflix, Audible, and what kind of not different stuff are can really bring and value in our life. To my life, it's bringing a lot of visual stuff, a lot of learning material, because without YouTube probably I never will be able to starting even this podcast. then maybe without YouTube I never been able so passionate about traveling, taking pictures, edit them, preparing videos, templates, color grading. So for me personally, all the streaming services have a huge impact in my personal and also professional life. And having that perspective where you can have all your content with you on one small device, I think this invention has had, and I'm pretty sure for a long time to come will have a huge impact. Small device, our smartphone in our pocket. And with this bridge, let's talk about Apple event which was held a few days ago. They introduced there a lot of crazy stuff. I'm pretty sure you already seen the new Mac Pro, aka cheese grater, but personally, from power consumption, I think this computer is really beast in the cage for sure. I agree on that one. Also, there was a lot of stuff what I don't like on that computer, but to be honest, I've never used any Apple computer, so I think it's not my privilege to talk one. If you would like to know more, go and check it by yourself online. You can find tons of YouTube reactions on this new computer. What I was so, what I was so not surprised, but ready for it. It's a new iOS 13. To be honest, for many of years, iOS 13 is something what most of the iOS users waited for. Not just a swipe keyboard, which as an Android users we have almost for a decade, but a lot of stuff what coming up right now. The whole software is making your smartphone more as a computer than just smartphone, where you could scrolling your Instagram feed or post anything on Twitter. This is not anymore just that thing. iOS 13 did a huge leap. Right, I'm right now on Apple website dedicated for iOS 13, and I'm just scrolling down, and let's check the key features of iOS 13. Obviously, it's here the mentioned dark mode, which are think for battery consumption. It's very great, so you will have longer battery life because all your apps will be on black background, which is, by the way, most of the iPhones, no, I mean X and XS, they are OLED with the OLED displays, which means the black is real black because all the parts of the display are turned off basically, and that's what you get. You've got the black screen, which obviously save your battery. So this thing is an huge improvement for your battery life. Then we have here something what they changed in photos. I saw yesterday, I think, YouTube video where you can literally editing your photos in absolute details. What that means, you can change the photo perspective. So if you are working in Photoshop or Adobe Lightroom, you can moving your X and Y rotation. So basically, you can adapt your photos as you like them, which is, I think, for smartphones, a huge step forward. Absolute credit for no Apple for this future. Then also, wow, they did a lot of improvement in photos and camera. Also, we have in here some privacy and security updates. Oh yeah, one thing what I really loved in one of the videos, now they adopt one feature where you will be basically able to tap on Wi-Fi Wi-Fi networks in your notification center, and just like in pop-up, you will be able to choose the network on which you would like to log in, which is, I think it's a huge improvement, and I hope so. Android in any next update will be adding this feature, because this one, I think it will be a huge improvement for all of us, not just for Apple users. And here is something what I found out. It's a sign in with Apple. If you don't know what that means, if you are going on any websites, the in login section, the website, most of the website will be giving you an option. First, registration. Second, login with your Google account or by Facebook. What wrong with this one is most of the third party sites like in Google and Facebook can track your activity on this website. What that means is they can provide you later on with better advertisement for you. So let's say you will be buying a drone on the website where you will be using your Google account, right? Anytime when you will be going through some Google search, the drone website will be no basically advertisement for you, the new drone, the accessories, refreshments, and so on and so on and so on. What Apple is trying to do here is something, not say revolutionary, because we already knowing Apple is playing their advertisement on the privacy, where basically you basically Apple is putting everything on one card, where privacy is the highest goal in their segment, which I'm absolutely respecting here. So what Apple is trying to do here is they will be basically using different email address which will be generated on through each logins when you will be trying to log in any of these websites which are requiring sign in through some no application. And this will be also means no one will be able to tracking you, because at no Apple is known they are not tracking your activity on their phones. They are known they are not selling activity, your no activity, to third parties. So from my perspective, Apple devices are starting to be a real choice. I mean, you know that favorite scene from Matrix movie where you have on one hand the red pill and on the other hand you have the blue pill. On one hand, in soon you will have high privacy, no one can track me, but it will have a high cost. Then I have free phone, free services, but I will be paying for my privacy. I will be paying for specific advertisement through my searching online. Which side is better? Which side is good? Is it, of course, having high privacy? No one can track me. No one can give me something what they are thinking I really want. But I'm not thinking paying high price for your privacy and for your tracking, it's a best option. I think it should be on us as an customers, um, making that decision what is really necessary better for us. I mean, out there, you don't have everyone who can pay in like an 1,000 bucks for a phone and having that privilege. Oh, I paid high price for my privacy so I can be secure now and you just nothing for me anymore. I don't think so. Privacy have to be that commodity where we should to paying the extra price for it.